And to discuss the economic impact of coalition governance on a national scale, we are now joined by the Director of Econometrix, Dr Azar Jammine. Doctor, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning to you, and good morning to your viewers.
Now, first and foremost, I mean, as we see where the numbers stand, the ANC is falling significantly short of the 50% that they desired, that they needed in order to maintain their position nationally. Of course, this is quite a historical moment, unprecedented. In fact, many predicted it. Now, Doctor, if you would just tell us in your own opinion with regards to the economic impact, should an ANC-DA deal be successful? What are your thoughts?
Well, should an ANC-DA deal be successful, the markets and most businessmen would be very, very pleased with such an outcome. One must recognize that the ANC itself has been split down the middle ideologically between those who favor interventionist and populist policies, the socialists, the communists on the one hand, and on the other side, you've got those who believe in the pursuit of market-oriented solutions economically. And what we've seen is parts of the ANC have been breaking away precisely because of these ideologies, not least of which is, of course, the MK, which is preaching nationalization across the board and a lot of expenditure on social programs and that kind of thing that is basically unaffordable to a normal economist. And then on the other side, you've got the ANC that has itself currently been running a fiscal policy that tries to reflect responsibility and rectitude in such a way as to sustain an element of confidence in the running of the country's finances. Now, a DA-ANC coalition would presumably attract the latter segment of the ANC, and the fit between the two would then be fairly easy because a lot of the policies that the ANC, that the market-oriented elements of the ANC have been pursuing are similar to what the DA would want, except there are some prerequisites. A number of critical differences will need to be sorted out. The DA does not believe in affirmative action and black economic empowerment as a solution to reducing inequality, nor does it believe in minimum wages and fairly strict labor policies to promote employment. And that is where the two would have to try and sort out a way of working together. But to the extent that the ANC has been under President Ramaphosa has been in talks with business leaders, and they seem to have made a little bit of progress in terms of sorting out the energy and logistics problems facing the country in recent months. I think there'd be an element of confidence and quiet confidence. I think there would be a wait and see attitude to begin with. I don't think there would be massive exuberance right at the beginning because there's a recognition that there are huge challenges involved in working together. But essentially, and I've heard this said by Solly Msimanga, the head of the ANC, of the DA in Gauteng, there are many people within the ANC that he would find it very easy to work with. So I think that an ANC-DA coalition in that sense would be very welcome to the business community. What it would do, however, is polarize society between this market-oriented grouping. And I think a lot of the other members of the multi-party charter might join that, and you would then effectively have a centrist government of national unity. But on the other side, a reasonably powerful opposition from the more populist elements comprising mainly the MK and the EFF and other similarly minded small organizations such as the ACT, etc.
In the, possibly even likely event, as some have predicted, of the ANC then going into a coalition with the ANC, the DA and the ANC, would then, taking into consideration their differences in policy, especially some of the examples that you've cited with the DA not believing in black economic empowerment, I mean, that's a glaring difference in policy structure. So how then might the business community be impacted? Should there be some kind of a standoff, considering some of the naysayers who say coalition governments don't work because there's just too much of an overcompromise in so many areas?
You know, the attraction of such an alliance is that you would have, certainly there would be challenges of the kind that you've highlighted. But remember, the economy is functioning right now with laws on BEE, with laws of minimum wages, etc. The challenge for the DA would be to try and be persuaded to join a coalition with knowing that if they fail to alter some of these policies in a way or in a manner that might improve the economic outlook, they would stand to lose out quite badly and lose a lot of support. But on the whole, there are many very capable people within the DA who could be subsumed into a multi-party, into a combined, an alliance between the DA and the ANC, and be proved very effective. We've already had a little bit of a tiny little element of that, for example, with Patricia de Lille being a minister from the Good Party in the current government of the country, and basically promoting tourism. And from that point of view, I think she's tried to do as good a job as possible. But I think you could find quite a lot of capable people from the DA entering government and making a difference. The other very important element that I think is encouraging is if you were to have such a coalition, there would be such an acute oversight by one party over the other, not to be involved in corrupt activities, that in itself could start generating a lot more cohesion in the implementation of economic policy without having to look over one's shoulder at and worry about every bit of policy being subjected to corrupt practices.
All right, and we will leave it right there. Doctor, thank you so much for your time. I guess we will wait and see what happens next.